So always be positive. Because if you are positive again, positive things will happen. So just like today, malay mo, di ba? Makakuha ka ng learnings for us, for our lesson for today. Low, low, low! Bakit nga ba low? So, ibig sabihin lang nun, huwag mong hayaan yung sarili mo na always feel low. So, dapat always inspired ka every day. So, nagkaroon ka ng inspiration. So, it may be your family members, your parents, yung mga kapatid. So, pwede mong maging inspiration sila. So, di ba? You always have to think positive. Kasi kapag positive things yung iniisip mo, positive things will happen. So para yung paggising mo sa umaga, pag nagising ka sa umaga ng masaya, yung whole day mo masaya. Pag gumising ka sa umaga ng masigla, yung whole day mo masigla. Not unlike kapag gumising ka ng bad mood, so yung buong araw mo magiging bad mood din, di ba? So always think positive. So isipin mo lagi yung mga positive things. So always feel inspired so that positive things will happen to you for the whole day. So, yun dapat yung isipin natin every day that nagigising tayo sa umaga. Aside from thanking God because He allows us to live another day, then also be thankful for the things that you will receive for that day. So always be positive. Because if you are positive again, positive things will happen. So just like today, malay mo, di ba? Makakuha ka ng learnings for us, for our lesson for today. So today, we are going to continue our discussion. So we are now on lesson number 10. So yung lesson number 10 natin will focus on triangle, angle, bisector theorem. So, ipapakita muna natin dito kung paano ba yung triangle, angle, bisector theorem. Then after that, we can come up with examples na ina-apply yung triangle, angle, bisector theorem. So, let's start it now. So, ano nga ba yung triangle, angle, bisector theorem? So, triangle, angle, bisector theorem states that if a segment bisects an angle of a triangle, so a given picture here is triangle, a segment of bisects an angle. So meron segment na hinati yung isang angle ng triangle. Then it divides the opposite side into segments proportional to the other two sides. So may isang segment na hinati yung isang angle ng triangle na magi-intersect dun sa one side of the triangle. So, yung one side of the triangle na mahati into two also. So, pero, pag sinabi natin bisects, yung angle na binisect have equal measures. But not necessarily mean na yung segments, yung side na nag-intersect yung segment na yun is also congruent. So, hindi ganun yun. Only the angle. Then, sabi doon, then it divides the opposite side into segments proportional to the other two sides. Paano yun? Siyempre, mas maganda if we're going to show it through figure. So, meron tayo dito. So, we do have here a given triangle. The triangle ABC. Then, this segment BD, bisects this angle, bisects angle B na nag-intersect dito sa one side of the triangle. Then according to triangle angle bisector theorem, then it divides the side of the triangle into proportional, divides the sides proportional to the other two sides of the triangle. So ito daw side segment na to na dinivide nitong segment BD na to, nag-bisect do sa angle B, proportional daw siya to the other two sides of the triangle. Side AB tsaka side BC. So, nare-recall ba yung discuss natin about basic proportionality theorem and segments cut by transversals? So, may pagkakatulad siya dito. So, iba nga lang in-apply nating theorem, but still, the way we solve this is just like the same way on how we solve yung basic proportionality theorem and segments cut by transversals. So here, what sabi, since we made mention there the word proportion, so ibig sabihin, makaka-form din tayo dito ng proportion. So, proportional segments. So, according to the statement na natin kanina, so itong side segment na to na dinivide ng segment BD, proportional portion daw yon to the other two sides of the triangle. So that's why we can form here proportion. And just like yung discussion natin about basic proportionality theorem and segments cut by transversals, we can form proportion vertically and horizontally. So una, we can form proportion horizontally. We do have AB over BC. Ito yung dalawang sides. Dalawang sides, proportion siya to the two segments na dinivide ng segment BD. So that would be AD over CD. Okay? And we can form proportion vertically. That's like we have AB, isang side tsaka isang segment over AD is equal to another side to isang segment. Is equal to BC over CD. So we just have to form proportion. Then if we do have things that we have to look for, or we do have a given value there that involves variable, so all we have to do is to solve for the value of the variable with the application of triangle angle bisector theorem, then also with the application of solving proportion. So again, here, all you have to do is to form a proportion when using on how we solve with the use of triangle angle bisector theorem. So mas maintindihan natin mas mabuti if we're going to apply that through examples. So let's have example number 1. So we are here going to find for the value of x with a given dito yung figure natin. So we do have here a triangle, then this segment bisects this angle. So ibig sabihin they are equal, congruent in measure. Then na nag-intersect dito sa side ng triangle na to. So natin siya into 2. So with the application of triangle angle bisector theorem na sinasabi doon, this side na dinivide by that segment is proportional to the other two sides of the triangle. So in that way, we can form proportion. So the first thing we're going to do is to form proportion. And again, we can form proportion vertically and horizontally. So what we did on example number 1 is we form proportion horizontally. So we do have 12 over 18 is equal to 6 over x. 12 over 18 is equal to 6 over x. Ibig sabihin, yung dalawang side muna bago yung dalawang segments. Okay? So pwede rin 12 over 6 is equal to 18 over x. Pwede natin gawin yon na, di ba nga sabi natin meron tayong properties on proportion na pwede natin gamitin, na kahit gamitin natin yon, still the two ratios are equal. So proportion pa rin yung mag-form natin. So ginawa natin ito horizontally, 12 over 18 is equal to 6 over x. This is just like how we solve the others, yung about basic proportionality theorem and segments cut by transversals. Kapag meron tayong given ratio na walang involved na variable and it is still can be reduced into lowest term, so i-reduce muna natin, just like 12 over 18. In 12 over 18, pwede pa natin ma-reduce into lowest term. So both 12 and 18 are divisible by 6. So ma-reduce natin siya as 2/3 in lowest term. So instead of using 12 over 18, we are going to make use of 2 over 3. So just like how we solve proportion, we apply cross multiplication, or it's in the same way we are applying the fundamental law of proportion. So that's 2 times x is 2x, 3 times 6 is equal to 18. So magkakaroon tayo ng 2x is equal to 18. Then we are solving for x, so still accompanied by 2 yan. So we have to remove 2 by dividing both sides of the equation by 2. So by divide natin by 2 yun, the 2 will be cancelled out, x will be left, and 18 divided by 2 is equal to 9. So the value of x is 9. Because if x is 9, magiging 6 over 9 to. Pag nireduce ba natin 6 over 9 into lowest term, that will be the same as 2/3? The answer is yes, because 6 and 9 are both divisible by 3. So 6 divided by 3 is 2, 9 divided by 3 is 3. So it's the same way that it will be equal to 2/3. So it satisfies the given proportion. So nakatulong din sa atin yung given problem natin which talks about triangle angle bisector theorem. So nakuha yung example number 1. So if not yet, let's try another example. So we do have your example number 2. Again, ditong triangle. Then this segment bisects this angle, then intersect dito sa side ng triangle. So, with the application of the triangle angle bisector theorem, so sinasabi doon that the sides na dinivide ng segment na nagbisector sa isang angle is proportional to the other two sides. So in that way, we can form proportion first in solving for the unknown variable. So still we are going to solve for x here. So again, it's either we can form proportion vertically and horizontally. So what we applied here is we form proportion vertically this time. If we form proportion vertically, that would be 9 over x is equal to 3 over 4. Bakit yung 3 over 4 ang pinili natin? Kasi yung 3 over 4 was already in its lowest term. So, hindi natin siya kailangan in lowest term pa, ka-lowest term na siya. So, we will proceed right away on applying the cross multiplication. So, we do have 3 times x here is 3x, then 9 times 4 is equal to 36. Then 3x is equal to 36. We have to find out for the value of x. Then we still have to divide both sides of the equation by 3. So cancel the 3, x will be left, the 36 is exactly divisible by 3. So 36 divided by 3 is equal to 12. So the value of x there is 12. So if x is 12, magiging 9 over 12 yon. So 9 over 12, pag nilowest term natin is same as 3/4? The answer is yes. That's why the right value for x is 12. Nakuha natin yon with the help of the triangle angle bisector theorem. Okay, any questions on example number 2? So if none, let's proceed to example number 3. So again, in example number 3, we are here going to find for the value of x. We do have here again another given triangle. So as you can see, this segment bisects this angle, and din natin niya yung isang side into 2, divides it into two segments. These segments divided by this segment that bisects the angle is proportional to the other two sides of the triangle. But if we're going to look at the given triangle here is a right triangle. So we still don't know yet the measure of this side of the triangle. So since right triangle siya, and given yung measures of the other two sides of that right triangle, so that means we can find for the measure of the third side, which is also known as the hypotenuse. That is with the application of the Pythagorean theorem. So before we find for the value of x, let us first find for the measure of this side of that right triangle. So what we are going to do first is to solve for this third side applying Pythagorean theorem, given this measure of the other two sides. So simply substitute lang natin yung mga given na to the given equation. So we do come up with c squared is equal to 9 squared plus 12 squared. By the way, the formula for finding the hypotenuse in a given right triangle is c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. So since given yung two sides, sinabstitute lang natin, that would be 9 squared plus 12 squared. The 9 squared is 81 and 12 squared is equal to 144. That's why meron tayong c squared is equal to 81 plus 144. 44. Then add that, 81 plus 144 is equal to 225. So magkakaroon tayong c squared is equal to 225. Since what we are solving is the value of c, which is the hypotenuse, so we have to get the square root of both sides. And it so happened that 225 is a perfect square. When we get the square root of c squared, that would be equal to c. And 225, the square root of it is equal to 15. So therefore, the measure of this side, which is the hypotenuse, is equal to 15. So now we can make use of that given for us to find out for the value of this variable x here. So next thing we're going to do is to solve for x. So to solve for x, sabi nga dun sa triangle angle bisector theorem, yung segments na yung dinivide ng segment cut that bisects the angle is proportional daw to the other two sides of the triangle. So that means we sabi natin to solve for a given for variable there, we can form proportion first. So we can form proportion either vertically or horizontally. So we can come up here with the proportions 9 over 15. Ito yun. We form proportion horizontally. So pwede siyang magkabaliktad din. Instead of 15 over 9, pwede din 9 over 15. So as long as kung saan ka dapat nagsimula, doon ka rin magsisimula sa other proportion na hindi pwedeng 9 over 15 dito, tapos dito ay 12 minus x over x. So mali yun. So it should be 9 over 15 is equal to x, itong side na to, itong segment na to, over yung segment na to. Yung segment na to, ang total niya ay 12. So kung ano yung measure nito, minus mo lang sa 12, that will be the measure of this segment. So kaya meron tayo dito 12 minus x. So 9 over 15, as you can see, can still be reduced into lowest term as 9 and 15 are both divisible by 3. So that would become 3 over 5. So instead of using 9 over 15, we're going to make use of 3 over 5. Then let's apply cross multiplication. So we do have 5 times x here is 5x. 3 times 12 is 36 minus 3x. So magkakaroon tayo ng ganito. 5x is equal to 36 minus 3x. Then move yung negative 3x to the left side of the equation. So magiging plus 3x ngayon yun. That will be equal now to 36. So 5x plus 3x is equal to 8x equal to 36. Since we are solving for the value of x, so let's divide both sides of the equation by 8 so that the value of x is 36 over 8. So since it's not exactly divisible by 36 is not exactly divisible by 8, pero 36 over 8 can still be reduced into lowest term because both of them are divisible by 4. So magiging kakaroon tayo ng lowest term of it as the value of x as 9 over 2 because 36 divided by 4 is 9, then 8 divided by 4 is 2. So the value of x is 9 over 2. Yun yung value ng x that will satisfy this given proportion. 9 over itong pinrate natin in place of x, it will still be equal to 3 over 5 kapag sinimplify natin. So in the case of number 3, before we solve for the value of x, kinuha muna natin yung measure of the third side of the triangle because since we know that the given triangle is a right triangle, nagamit natin yung knowledge natin about Pythagorean theorem. So that's how we solve example number 3. Any questions? So let's proceed to the next. Let's have example number 4. Again, example number 4, we are going to solve for the value of x. Again, we do have a given triangle here. This segment bisects this angle, then intersects this side of the triangle. And this side of the these segments are cut by this segment that bisects the angle is proportional to the other two sides of the triangle. So para itong katulad ng example number 3, yun nga lang, given na yung mga natin, side. So 12 yung buo, tapos x ito. So again, in order for us to solve for it, the first thing we're going to do is to form proportion. or kung tayo ng tinatawag na ina-apply natin yung triangle angle bisector theorem. So again, we can form proportion vertically and horizontally. Magkaroon tayo ng 8/10. So ito ino natin sa baba. Ha? Pwede yun, pwedeng 10/8, pwedeng 8/10. Kasi di ba meron tayong property on proportion na kahit gawin natin yon, still the two ratios are congruent. The two ratios are equal. Di ba? So 8/10 is equal to x. Ito yung una. Then the whole is 12. Anong value ng x, minus mo lang sa 12. Kaya 12 minus x. Magkakaroon tayo ng proportion na 8/10 is equal to x/12 minus x. Then 8/10, as you can see, is pwede pa natin ma-reduce into lowest term. So 8/10 are both divisible, 8 and 10 are both divisible by 2. So that will come up with the lowest term as 4/5. And from there, let's apply cross multiplication, or the same way we applying fundamental law of proportion. So that would be 5 times x is 5x. 4 times 3 is 48, minus 4 times x is 4x. We come up with 5x is equal to 48 minus 4x. So move yung minus negative 4x to the left side. Magkakaroon tayo ng 5x plus 4x is equal to 48. And 5x plus 4x is equal to 9x equal to 48. So since we are looking for the value of x, we still have to divide both sides of the equation by 9. Cancel the 9, x will be left. So magiging 48 over 9. 48/9, hindi exactly divisible yung 48 by 9. But pwede pa natin ma-reduce into lowest term because both are divisible by 3. So that will come up with the value of x as 16/3. That's 48 divided by 3, that's 16. 9 divided by 3 is equal to 3. So we come up with the value of x which is equal to 16/3. That value of x which is 16/3, that's the right value for x that will make this given proportion, that will satisfy this given proportion. So any question on number 4? If none, let's proceed. Let's have example number 5. So this time we are going to find for the value of s. So example number 5, find for the value of s. Parang katulad din ng kanina, buo is 20, 40, 25 ito, 18, and s. Ito yung segment na bisecting this angle. Ay natin yung isang side into two segments which are proportional to the other two sides of the triangle. So, to solve for s, so solution natin with the application of the triangle angle bisector theorem, so we are going to form proportion. Again, we can form proportion horizontally and vertically. So what we did here is we form proportion vertically. That is 18/s, yan 18, dalawang size mo, 18/s is equal to 15/25. Bakit naging 15/25? So since 25 na to, ang buo ay 40, so 40 minus 25 lang. So ibig sabihin ito ay 15. So kaya meron tayong 15/25. So nakuha yun. Kasi segments yung tinutukoy natin to form proportion itong dalawang segments na to. Hindi yung buo. Okay? So that would be 15/25. Then as you can see, 15/25, pwede pa natin ma-reduce into lowest term. Both are divisible by 5. So that 15/25 will become 3/5 when lowest term. Then from there, let's apply cross multiplication to solve for the value of s. So that would be 3 times s is 3s. 18 times 5 is equal to 90. So we have to divide both sides of the equation by 3 to solve for s. Cancel the 3 now, and 90 divided by 3 is equal to 30. So the value of s is equal to 30. S is 30, 18 divided over 30. When we lowest term, both are divisible by 6, so we come up with 3/5 also. Pag lowest term natin yun. That's why the right value for s is equal to 30. That will satisfy this given proportion na tinulungan tayo dito sa given problem natin, yung tinatawag nating triangle angle bisector theorem. So did you get example number 5? Next, let's have example number 6 here. Again, we are here going to find for the value of S. So, given ano tayo dito, ito yung segment natin that bisects this angle, and hinati yung isang side into two segments which are proportional to the other two sides of the triangle. The whole measure of this side is 10, and this side measures x. This segment measures x. Then, these two sides measures 9 and 6 respectively. So, for our solution, what we are going to do is to form proportion. Again, we can form proportion horizontally and vertically. So what we did here is we form proportion vertically. So that's 6 over 9. Again, sabi natin, pwede palitin na. Pwedeng 9 over 6 or 6 over 9. Pero syempre, kung nagsimula ka sa taas, magsisimula ka rin dito sa taas. Ganun yun, di ba? Nagsimula ka sa baba, magsisimula ka rin sa baba for the other ratio. So 6 over 9 is equal to S. Ito yun sa baba. Over, yung buo ay 10 minus S. Kasi kung alam mo yung measure ng S, alam mo na yung measure of the other segment. So we can form proportion 6 over 9 is equal to S over 10 minus S. Then 6 over 9 can still be reduced to lowest term as both divisible by 3, meron tayong 2/3 or 6 over 9. Then do cross multiplication, 3 times S is 3S. 2 is equal to 2 times 10 is 20 minus 2 times S is 2S. Meron tayong 3S is equal to 20 minus 2S. Then move natin yung negative 2S to the left side of the equation. So magiging plus 2S yon. So 3S plus 2S, simplify that, karoon tayo ng 5S is equal to 20. Since we want to solve for the value of S, we just have to divide both sides of the equation by 5 so that S, 5 will be cancelled out, S will be left, and 20 divided by 5. So it's exactly divisible, so we come up with the value of S as 4. So the value of S is 4. So if this S is 4, ibig sabihin ito ay 6. So did you get that? So let's try another example. So find the value of S again. So number 7, come up here. Again, we do have a given triangle that bisects this angle, and hinati divides this side of the triangle, and these segments are proportional to the other two sides of the triangle. So again, our solution here, first thing we are going to do with the application of the triangle angle bisector theorem is to form proportion either vertically or horizontally. So what we did here, we solve or we form proportion vertically. So inuna ulit natin yung nasa baba. Bakit natin inuuna yun? Kasi mas madadalian kayo kung yung nasa numerator ay yung single variable. Dan yung may kasama. Okay, kaya yun yung una natin. Kasi pwede naman natin gawin na pagpalit ka rin eh. So 10 over 15 is equal to S over 14 minus S. So from there, 10 over 15, as you can see, can still reduce it to lowest term as both are divisible by 5, so magiging 2/3. So then apply cross multiplication. That would be 3 times S is 3S equal to 2 times 14 is 28 minus 2 times S is 2S. Magkakaroon tayo ng 3S is equal to 28 minus 2S. Then, move negative 2S to the left side of the equation so that will become positive. 3S plus 2S is equal to 28. So 3S plus 2S is equal to 5S equal to 28. So magiging 5 is equal to 28. And since we want to solve for the value of S, so we have to divide both sides of the equation by 5. So 5 will be cancelled out, S will be left, then it will be equal to 28 over 5. Since 28 is not exactly divisible by 5 and wala na rin siyang lowest term, so it will stay as it is. So the answer will be S, which is equal to 28 over 5. Did you get example number 7? Hopefully. So let's proceed to example number 8. If I'm not mistaken, this is already the last example. So, matatapos na tayo. So, for number 8, we are here going to solve or find the value of the variable x. Again, we do have a given triangle here, and this segment bisects this angle and divides this side of the triangle, which are proportional to the other two sides of the triangle. So, to solve for the value of the variable x, what we are going to do is to form proportion first, either horizontally or vertically. So let's form proportion vertically. So ito yun. 8 over 10 is equal to 6x plus 2 over 9x minus 2. Hindi pwedeng ulitin ko, hindi siya pwedeng pagbalik na rin ha. 8 over 10 na equal to 9x minus 2 over 6x plus 2. Kung saan ka nagsimula, kung sa segment ka nagsimula, yung isang ratio mo, sa segment din mo ang numerator. Pag ang numerator mo ay side, sa isang ratio mo, ang numerator mo ay side din. So that's why 8 over 10 equal to 6x plus 2 over 9x minus 2. Then 8 over 10 can still be reduced into lowest term. Both are divisible by 2. So magiging 4 over 5. And just like yung sinob natin kanina, and just like yung sinob natin yung nakaraan, so ano yung unahin natin na nasa left side? So try to multiply first kung ano mas malaki. 4 times 9, that's 36. 5 times 6 is 30. So, ito yung unahin natin na nasa left side. Kasi yung mas malaki product na may involved na variable x. So, 4 times 9x is 36x minus 4 times 2, that would be 8. Then, 5 times 6x is 30x plus 5 times 2 is equal to 10. So, magiging ganyan. 36x minus 8 is equal to 30x plus 10. So, combine similar terms, move yung 30 to the left, then negative 8 to the right side. So, magiging 36x minus 30x is equal to 10 plus 8. So, simplify 36x minus 30x, we come up with 6x is equal to 10 plus 8 is equal to 18. So, we come up with 6x is equal to 18. So, since we want to solve for the value of x, so we still have to divide both sides of the equation by 6. So, if we're going to do that, 6 will be cancelled out and x will be left. Then 18 is exactly divisible by 6. So, 18 divided by 6 is equal to 3. So the value of x there is equal to 3. So if x is 3, 6 times 3, that would be 18 plus 2, that would be 20. 9 times 3, 27 minus 2, that's 25. So 20 over 25. Pag nilowest term ba natin yun, that will be the same as 4 over 5. So the answer is yes. So did you get example number 8? So okay, I hope that with these 8 given examples, naintindihan niyo kung paano ina-apply yung triangle angle bisector theorem with the help also on solving proportion, which is also with the help of the fundamental law of proportion. So if there are no more questions, that would be all for today. Goodbye, class!